Hey everyone. Hi. As always, this is David, Easy Finances. And so today we're going to be walking through our latest real estate deal. Historically, this hasn't been something I was comfortable with, but obviously, as time has gone by, I'm becoming more and more open to it. Also, a primary driver for doing this video, because I know I get asked a lot, what is your thought process behind going into deals? And I'm not a high volume real estate investor. I think I've been averaging like one property or one deal each year for the past couple of years. But I figured this is probably a good video opportunity to just dive into some of my thought process going into deals. As you know, I use short-term rental or pad split strategy for most of our investment properties, and I also walk you through how this deal is projected to make about, give or take, $20,000 a year in passive income, and sort of why we chose this deal. And yeah, should be fun. Looking forward to diving into it. And yeah, so without further ado, let's dive right into it. So I'm going to share my screen. Let's see. Okay. So this is the property. Um, so this is a quick video of the property. So that's a living space. Obviously, you can see the finishes are newly renovated. It was renovated this year. Obviously, that's attractive. I do like new builds or new renovations in general because I feel like I tend to buy on a long-term basis and hold for a long term. So the newer the property, to me, the better. I know people tend to like the fixer flips, and that's just not me for now because I tend to just target new properties, high cash flow. So that video, obviously, so that's a quick video, a tour of the property, and just walking through again, sort of like just some details and specs. It's a four-bedroom property with a basement, and the basement is what we're converting to a fifth bedroom. And that was one also major reason why I bought the property, because the basement was perfect to make a fifth bedroom. And obviously, as you know, we're doing pad split. And just to recap what a pad split short-term rental strategy is basically a strategy where you're renting out furnished bedrooms on a short-term basis. So this could be and furnished bedrooms. So you're renting out individual bedrooms on a short-term basis. So this could be like for like 3 nights. We typically have most of our properties 2 to 3 nights minimum, but most of our bookings we tend to get are like weekly stays, monthly stays, and so on. And so that's been very effective for and attractive for like travel nurses, travel workers, digital nomads, people just moving into the city on a short-term basis, or people transitioning to the city, so need a place to stay before they find their own permanent place. It's just been an effective business model, and we've been doing it since even before COVID, but it definitely took off during COVID. We use Airbnb, Verbo, Booking.com. Um, we also use Furnish Finder. Furnish Finder is another app that we found very effective, especially for travel nurses. But most of our volume tends to come on Airbnb. So you just have to make sure you structure your listing and your strategy such as suitable for pad split and also long-term stays, incentives like long-term discounts and so on. Because so as I was saying, yes, so it's a 4 bedroom, 3 full bath. We are making a fifth bedroom, which is the basement. So going back to the video, let me share my screen again. So sharing my screen. So pause. So this has private access to the backyard, as you see. This is the basement space. So this is downstairs. And of course, we're going to make this a bedroom, which would be the fifth bedroom. And of course, oops. And of course, as you can see here, the basement also has a full bath, which is the full bath here. Let me just go back again a few seconds. So you can see this is the basement. That's the full bath. Okay. So it has a full bath and a shower. And of course, it's the backyard space. And of course, that's a private access right there to the basement. Stop share. So again, it's a four bedroom. So there are 4 bedrooms on the top floor, 3 full baths. So meaning one bedroom on top floor is en suite. It means it has its own private bathroom. 3 other bedrooms are sharing a bathroom, and then the fifth bedroom or basement also has a full bathroom. So it's actually, in effect, there'll be 5 bedrooms total. 2 of them will have a full bath or en suite, what I call en suite. And that's important because those come with a premium for pad splitting. Of course, the ones that are sharing a bathroom are 3 as well. So it's 5 in total. Okay. So going back now to the deal, again, just to recap, we have covered estimating short-term rental deals before on the YouTube channel, on the Patreon. I've gone more into details on the Patreon, especially on our real estate guide. We've gone more into details on short-term rentals. But I strongly recommend watching that video first to get an idea of how we project numbers, especially when we're like analyzing deals, especially when we're looking at like cash on cash returns to analyze if this is a good deal. So I'm not going to really go into a lot of those details in this video because I don't want to make this video long-winded. But if I definitely recommend going back to that video as it's almost like a prerequisite to this video if you're trying to get more into the details, into the weeds of like how do we come up with these numbers and so on. So again, it's also, as you saw on the property, it also has a really nice backyard space and sitting on a lot of acreage. As I've mentioned, our investing strategy is pretty simple. We target good properties, steward them well, meaning we maintain them well. I like to target more like newer construction or newly renovated properties in up and coming rental cities. We talked about rental cities in the past. So this property is in Atlanta, which we consider an up and coming rental city down here in the South because we expect a lot of appreciation in those properties over time, especially if the property is sitting on good acreage in the city. So this property is sitting on roughly 0.7 acres in the city of Atlanta. So we know that will come with a huge premium, especially years from now, to sit on that much acreage in the within the city. So it's within the perimeter. So the perimeter in Atlanta is defined as the 285 highway. So properties within that perimeter comes with a premium real estate wise. So getting a property with that much acreage in the city was a huge deal. We are buying the property for $350,000. We're putting 20% down payments. Said property as well is also so putting 20% down payment, we're buying it as well. Yes, okay, so the acreage, and also he has no HOA. I don't know why that was escaping my mind. He has no HOA. That's big. So the neighborhood has no HOA. Most of our properties tend to have HOA. I don't mind HOA, but in this case, we sort of stepped out of our comfort zone. Typically HOA, especially because HOAs tend to interfere as well with renting, short-term rental strategies, and so on. So it was very, in this particular case, was attractive to us that didn't have HOA, and it's also an up-and-coming neighborhood. So there's also a lot of opportunity for baked-in appreciation and in the asset over time, as well as the neighborhood grows and becomes more and more developed. Okay, so now diving into some of the numbers. Again, just to recap, is a 4-bedroom. Officially, it's a 4-bedroom, 3 full bath, but we're converting the basement to a bedroom, so we're gonna make it 5 bedrooms. Sitting on roughly 0.7 acres, and so that's another main driver for buying the property. Newly renovated. It was renovated in 2022, so this year. And so as well, we're doing a pad split short-term rental strategy. So obviously, naturally, the more bedrooms, because we're renting by room, the more your cash flow, so the better. So the fact that it was up to 5 bedrooms is great. I typically like to target at least 4 bedrooms. I don't have any 3 bedrooms, but 3 bedrooms is what I'll consider absolute minimum. So the fact that we were in this market in Atlanta get a 4 or 5 bedroom for 350 grand was a steal, in my opinion. And also, as we mentioned before, as we expect rates, mortgage rates to continue hiking, at least 7 more hikes expected through 2023. Why don't you just lock it in right before the hikes keep going as well? Because obviously, as you know, as interest rates go up, so does your mortgage payments. So yeah, diving back into the screen, and then we can recap this. So again, just as a quick example of why short-term rental versus long-term rental. So I just did a quick, so with a long-term rental, if we were to do a long-term rental on this property, so my mortgage is $2,100. And just to recap you how we got that, it's pretty simple. As you can see, let me close this. As you can see, this is the property. It's 350 grand. We're putting 20% down payment. Our interest rate was 5.6%. Loan term is 30 years. Property tax is about $3,500. No PMI. Home insurance is about $2,400 a year. Obviously, it's a conventional loan. We're buying it, and so that will put your mortgage about $2,100, which is accurate, and that includes your escrow. So that includes your property tax payment. So knowing that, so your mortgage is $2,100. If you're doing a long-term rental, you don't have to worry about utilities. Obviously, your tenant will worry about utilities. So your rent you collect, and we found this, got this off Zillows, and just from normal Google search, seeing what roughly is a 4 or 5 bedroom in the area going for rent. If you're renting long term to like a family or something, it'll be right about $2,400. And obviously subtract that from the mortgage, your cash flow will simply be $300 monthly, or you want to do that annualized. That's about $3,600 a year. So that's about 5.14% cash on cash returns, assuming our 20% down payment, right? Now, just to recap, cash on cash returns is the returns on your cash down. So the cash you put in is your down payment. We're putting 20%, and the returns on it is your cash flow. So your annual cash flow, which is $3,600, be 3 times 12, all right? Now with short-term rentals, so again, recap, we're converting the basement to an ensuite room. So, and that because it has a private access, it's a larger basement. Again, just to, as a recap, just to understand how we got these numbers, definitely recommend going back to our previous videos on estimating short-term rental deals. As you can see, bedroom 1 is going to bring in roughly about $1,500 a month, and that's going to be the basement. The other bedroom upstairs, which has a private bathroom, about $1,200 a month. Of course, the other bedrooms, the 3rd to the 5th bedrooms, which all share a bathroom, about $1,000 a month per bedroom, so about $3,000 a month total. Of course, like I mentioned, I do plan on giving this to a property manager, so the income from this property will be 100% passive. The total rent before PM fees is about $5,700, and of course, with a property manager, they take 20% of your revenue, so you're going to take 80% of the rent collected, which is 5,700 times 80%, which is 4,560, and that is the rent you're collecting. Okay, so 4,560 minus, of course, the mortgage, but now, of course, you have to worry about utilities and short-term rentals. So that's an additional like $350. So essentially, our cash flow is going to be roughly 2,160 a year. So I said 20,000 projected minimum, but roughly it's going to be more like 24,000. So 2,160 times 12. So our cash flow is going to be like projected roughly about $26,000 a year. So I say 20,000 to be safe, but really it's anywhere from $20,000 to $26,000 projected cash flow a year. A cash on cash returns, assuming our 20% down payment, again, is our annual cash flow. So that $26,000 divided by our 20% down payment, it's going to be 37%. And of course, if we go back to the video I mentioned, estimating short-term rental days, when you're projecting, we actually estimate a 25% down payment because some lenders require higher down payments, especially when you're dealing with multifamily properties. Even if we use our projected, what we typically like to do when we're going into deals, 25% down payment, you'll see that the cash on cash returns is about still 30%. So I call this the true cash on cash returns because we did do only 20% down payments. And this is the cash on cash returns assuming 25% down payment, which we typically like to do to be on the safe side. Always estimate, put in more down going into deals. So as a general rule of thumb in real estate, going into a deal, always estimate you have to put more money up, and always estimate you'll get less money back. So when you're estimating your rents, be very conservative. When you're estimating the money you have to put down, overestimate. So it's always good to be safe that way. Be conservative in how much you're projecting to receive and overestimate in how much you're projected to put down. So even with the overestimation of 25% down payment, we're still at 30%. And if you recall from the video, we typically like to be above 18% with our cash on cash return. So this is a really good deal. Obviously, this is well above 18%, and our true cash on cash returns is sitting comfy at 37%, meaning that the yield we're going to be earning on the money we put down, which is 20% down payments, roughly about $70,000, is going to be 37%. So yeah, that's really it. Walking through the deal again, it's a short-term rental investment property. It's in Atlanta. It's sitting on 0.7 acres, and it's a 4 or 5 bedrooms. And sitting on 0.7 acres is key because whenever we do resell it, eventually, it's a great buy for like a developer who would want to like tear down the property and build like maybe a fourplex or even like a commercial real estate property there, depending on zoning laws. I don't know. But the point is it has good resale value because of that acreage, especially in a city like Atlanta, that, real estate comes with a premium. So yeah, just in general, just to recap, that's the deal. So yes, a lot of things we talk about in terms of estimating or going to deals, we obviously utilize for our own selves personally going into deals. So that's why I said like, the Patreon is almost like a finance journal because everything I talk about there, I utilize myself. And yeah, with that said, we're signing out. Y'all have a good one and take care. Bye.